What's up, guys? Nonbon here. I've tried to make this video countless times because I don't really like making many opinionated videos. Because if you have any opinion on YouTube, you're just automatically wrong. Um, but, I just finished my Gemini Cup races and I didn't feel too good about them. I'm doing exceptionally well and Gemini Cup, but it really feels soulless. Um, so like, and like if I'm feeling this way, right, from someone who's doing well in Gemini Cup, I don't know how it feels from other people who aren't doing so well in Gemini Cup, right? To kind of go from a like 2400-meter race in Taurus Cup to this is such a gap, and it's almost like many people cannot participate. So, everything that people said before about this being like a whale cup or etc. I mean, yeah, I 100% think they were correct. Um, like for me, for instance, I'm doing well, but I have an MLB Super Creek, and that card carries me. That's the most expensive thing on my account. I'm not exactly a whale, but that's the most expensive thing I have, so call me what you will. And that shouldn't be the bus pass to like participate in this, right? It feels like it's less about what build you bring and more about how lucky you get in your run with your stat points. And man, nobody likes that. I mean, when you're trying to design a build for a character, you plan things out, you make parents, yada yada yada. Um, but Gemini Cup, dude, what it feels like to me is that a bunch of people are like lined up at a slot machine, and the slot machine is like the career mode, and whoever does the best with what they have available is the winner, right? And of course, with people with more disposable income, get better chances. So, yeah, that's just what it's felt like. Because when I win in Gemini Cup, I don't exactly feel good about it. Because like it doesn't feel like things are weighted evenly, right? I mean, how could they? And I think it's pretty stinky because it's almost a way to make you feel inadequate or insignificant or feel FOMO. Because as someone who's a low spender, right? Like if I can imagine how many people feel, how does it feel when like you queue up for Champions Meet? It's nothing like Taurus Cup, and you're just pressing the button and see what happens. And if you win, you win. If you don't, you don't, right? I've known people like we have people in our community who did pretty okay with Taurus Cup. They got by, but they were satisfied with it. But right now, seeing loss after loss after loss, and it's like less about the skills and more about how much you can really put into your stat points. You feel kind of helpless. You know what I mean? You feel kind of helpless. And I'm sorry, man. That that really sucks. It's I'm glad that we're not gonna have this next cup. Um, and some other things I wish I knew about Gemini Cup. There's more personality to this cup than we thought we knew. I feel like Gold Ship is definitely still the most consistent thing, but I'm also like very happy with what people have came up with, like Daiwa Scarlet being exceptional with using a rocket to beat Gold Ship. Narita Taishin actually is doing better than I thought she would. Like she was doing bad before, but no, she's catching up to my Gold Ship, and that's cool, right? I know people who are running like Rudolph as a late surger and still winning races that way. There's and Sion Sky kind of mixes some things up too. I haven't exactly seen Sion Sky win in my lobby yet, but I know some people have. And there's definitely creativity here, and I'm happy that despite how soulless a Gemini Cup is, there's still room for people to like, get some tips and tricks out there, and that part at least I am happy about. Like it looks like no matter what the cup is, people will still plan things out, and that's great for the community, right? But at the same time, while you have all these ideas and stuff, you can't exactly participate in them if you don't have the stats required to race in the first place. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's just how I feel. A couple other cute things I wish I knew. Like, I remember I was like bitching and moaning about Haru like debuffing Narita Taishin, but I'm gonna be honest, man. With Haru being in the lobby and pacing down everybody else, Narita Taishin and even my gold ship actually do really well because they like proc a skill early and they're actually like treated as a front runner. It's crazy. And I think that's something else, right? And I'm guilty of this too, right? We look things up, we want to learn, we want to get better at the game, and we see things for how they are from experienced players, but that doesn't exactly mean it's always going to be that way in global, right? We're always trying to expect the most optimized thing, but that's not always going to be the case, right? Many people know that I used to play fighting games competitively, and just because you need to prepare yourself to fight, like, you don't need to prepare yourself to fight a pro player at Evo if you're just going to a local, you know what I mean? And that's how it feels right now, is that, expect X, Y, and Z, look out for this, have these stats and whatever, man. Even as someone who has an MLB Super Creek, I still lose, right? I still lose. And I think it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure. It makes people not want to play as much when they're fed everything that is optimal. When there's not enough content about how to be lazy. And Kininaru, I probably butchered his name. He joined my stream yesterday, and I told him that I think global could really use some more lazy content. Like, I don't think going for the best thing is the best thing for many people. And I think trying to get something done that's very casually and you can still like enjoy your time with it is very important and very healthy for you, right? It's not about who optimizes the best build. It's who optimizes well with the least amount of effort, right? To me, that's a winner. If I can optimize something in a lazy way and it wins, I don't know, like 70% of the time, right? I don't have the mental transaction to just grind for 40 more hours just to bump that 70% to like 75. Do you know what I mean? And, I guess that's where I'm coming from. Like, you don't have to have the best stuff because you're never going to go against the best players. Well, that's an exaggeration. You could get unlucky, but regardless, I think that's something very important because at the rate that we're going and trying to like optimize everything and make sure that we don't miss out and do X, Y, and Z, despite how there are so many servers that were before global, Japan, China, Korea, everybody has a different meta, right? Everyone played their champions meet differently. And I personally feel like global is one of the hardest servers because of how much knowledge we have. Like, shoot, man, like in the next cup, having 300 speed or 300 guts actually gives you a speed boost, and that's not mentioned anywhere, and no one really knew about it until I think Korea discovered it. Like, Japan didn't know about that. And that's just what happens, man. There's so much in this game that when you are the last server to be released, how could you not be overwhelmed, right? I'm almost jealous of Japanese players, not just because they got this game early, but because they got to enjoy this game blissfully ignorant without having to worry about half this stuff because they just didn't know it was a thing. And because many people didn't know it was a thing, they went against other people who also didn't know, right? So it didn't matter if they knew or not, right? Everyone's in the same pool, but now because it's such a knowledge check, it's a lot at once. And I know I'm rambling, right? I know I'm rambling, but I guess my closing thoughts are play this game as efficiently as you want to. Don't play it as efficiently as others tell you to, right? And from a content creator point of view, from my standpoint, I definitely want to maybe work on more stuff that's just going to be more catered to people who want to be more lazy, because I think we need that. But ultimately, guys, I don't want to drag this on longer than it needs to be. Let me know what you think down below. I'll be posting my races later this week. My round 1, my round 2, and the finals will all be in one video if you want to check that out. Like and subscribe, kind of like a melancholy tone tonight. But I hope to see you guys on stream Mondays and Fridays. And yeah, conversation doesn't end here. Let me know down below. I'll be down there. Take care, guys. Have a good one. Goodbye.